The funny thing is, what number Super Bowl is this?
60.
60?
Yeah, yeah. I usually have problems with Roman numerals,
Yeah.
but I finally figured it out. 60.
And that's shoot, I forgot. I got to look at it. Speaking of the letters,
Am I sounding okay? Because I'm using my condenser mic today.
yeah, actually, you sound better than some other time I hear you on your live.
Well, I was using my Shure. The problem is this thing crapped out on me. So I don't use it very much anymore. So I had to go to the condenser. The problem with the condenser is that it picks up a lot of noise around me. And no matter if I use noise suppression, there's still stuff that gets picked up. So
Yeah.
I just haven't found the right one. That's the problem.
So some of the stuff I wanted to say is about, at first I felt it doesn't bother me that Bad Bunny's performing. I'm not a fan. I don't know any of his songs, or I heard some of it, and they all sound very. I don't know. That's not singing, whatever it is. Anyway, it's just not my thing. But to me, it was more like, well, damn, Super Bowl. Who's your demographic? And wouldn't you want them to enjoy something they like? Because I don't think they're going to gain all these new viewers for the show. I think people are not going to watch until, oh, wait, it's almost halftime. Yeah, let's turn it on to the Super Bowl. And then they're going to watch.
Right.
But at the same time, I was like, some people are getting way too butthurt. Like, I'll never watch another Super Bowl again. It's like, yeah, right. Don't lie.
I mean, yeah. I mean, people get. I mean, especially on the right? People get upset because of Bad Bunny. But you've seen some of the posts out there where they're talking. Somebody's put a post out there saying, "Leave it up to the NFL to invite a non-U.S. citizen." Well, the funny thing about that is that Bad Bunny is a U.S. citizen, and the rest of them that have actually performed in the last few years have not been U.S. citizens, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of European or Canadian,
right.
or
Now, you know what? I honestly had never heard of Bad Bunny before. I mean, I'm slightly a little younger than you are, and I think you and I probably have the same similar interests in music, right? So Bad Bunny's not going to be something that I normally would have, cared to listen to. But I been disappointed about the musical acts over the last few years? Yeah. I mean, I honestly, I enjoyed the halftime show when Michael Jackson did it. I enjoyed the halftime show when U2 did it. I'm a big U2 fan, always have been since the 1980s. So for me, I would have. Hey, even when Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, right? God bless Tom Petty.
Yeah.
He died. I mean, I would have even had the Stones, and they're not part of my era, So, I mean, I would, So it's kind of like, but it's a lack. It's just not my thing, right? It's not my taste,
Yeah.
So, but people have
good
taken
one.
it.
It was a few years ago, and I forget how many years ago. It was one with Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, and all the old school rap. Man, that was that was awesome. That was
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's just that, it's kind of one of those things. Alex, I've never heard his music, but obviously, some people really took offense to it. Now, is it a racial thing? I mean, could there be a lot of people out there that didn't know that Puerto Ricans are U.S. citizens? I don't know.
A lot of people don't know that. They're ignorant to that fact. They have no clue.
Yeah, and so a lot of people just, they want to boycott it. And of course, as we know, Erica Kirk, is her name Kirk? Yeah, I think it's Kirk. Erica Kirk, Turning Point, they're having an alternate show.
Yeah.
Like you and I were discussing offline, I was a little surprised that, they didn't that Fox didn't extend airtime to them, having to go out to their website and look for it, I think is a little.
My whole thing, I think probably Fox, the Fox News people didn't want to get in the middle of this.
No, Fox lately, I guess Rupert being as old as he is now, his sons don't really want to risk the business, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Yeah. Their whole thing was always, we report, you decide. So they're claiming, and they try to be neutral somewhat. Although the obvious Fox News leans to the right.
Right.
But I think in this case, they're saying, let's stay out of this one.
Yeah, I get a kick out of Fox, and I get out a kick out of, what used to be MSNBC. I don't know what they're called now, but they're like on two parallels, right?
MS Now or something.
MS Now. I mean, they're like on two parallels. It's like both sides are like hunkered down, and CNN, I'm not really sure where they fall anymore, to be honest with you. But I don't know if I've ever told you, I did a tour of CNN back many years ago. It was pretty impressive. I actually was in Atlanta, and you can go down to downtown Atlanta and actually take a tour of the CNN facility. Yeah. So that was kind of interesting, but I don't know. To me, I guess I'm curious to see who the lineup is going to be in the alternate show, right? I think it was Carlos Santana, and it was going to be Kid Rock, but I don't know who else.
Really?
That's what the rumor was. I don't know whether that's true or not. I've seen all kinds of stuff on Facebook about him being in the hospital or whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's the truth. I don't know if that's if that's what the lineup is going to be. On a sad note, I don't know if you heard, but Brad Arnold from Three Doors Down died yesterday, 47 years old.
Yeah, I did hear that.
He had a rare form of kidney cancer. So I was a little sad about that. I really liked their music, and I liked him as an artist, but unfortunately that dreaded disease takes the good ones always, right? So what do you expect for today's game? You think it's going to be New England, or do you think it's going to be the Seahawks?
I'm rooting for, not rooting, but I don't know. So I like Seattle.
Yeah. Yeah, I really don't want New England to win, for two reasons. One, I don't want them to get I think it's going to be their seventh ring as a team, not as the original, not as the Tom Brady team, but as an organization. I think it's their seventh, right? So I don't want them, and I don't want this quarterback that's with him now to get the idea that he's Tom Brady, because he's no Tom Brady, right? So
yeah, they've got 6, and this would be 7 if they won this one.
Yeah. So actually, I've got family right now in San Francisco. They're actually at the game, or they should be at the game. I didn't even realize they were going to the game until I saw pictures on Facebook, and I was like, "Oh, okay, gee, thanks for telling me." Right?
So they
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Huh? Go ahead.
I was just going to say they had 2002, 2004, and then they had a back-to-back 2004, 2005.
Right.
And then they took a long break and didn't win again until 2015. And then every 2 years, 17 and 19.
Yeah.
So,
I was actually hoping that it would have been Chicago, right? Obviously, you were hoping for Chicago too, right?
Yeah.
I really thought for a minute there the Broncos were going to make it, but it just didn't happen. Which is kind of surprising because that game, the weather conditions were perfect for them. They should be like able to play that game. Chicago did a whole lot better playing in their weather than, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. This was it was, you know, you can only win so many last minute games. Like you can't rely on that. And if you can't score early, that's a problem. If you can't score early, so you don't have to be playing catch up and trying to win in the last 2.5 minutes.
Yeah.
So that's something that they have to work on. And but Caleb Williams, the quarterback, is definitely a superstar in the making. I mean, everybody's saying it. Even Tom Brady even said it. That's you know, that's our Michael Jordan of football right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yeah,
we'll
it's going to be interesting. We'll see what happens. Hopefully, the Seahawks pull through. I really don't want New England to win. Had it been the Broncos, then I would have been pulling for the AFC. But you know, my co-host on my show, he's an NFC guy, so he doesn't care which one it is. He doesn't like the AFC. But I've, you know, it just would have been nice. It would have been nice if Houston made it, you know, too. You know, just to thumb their noses at the Titans. You know, how many times have the Titans pulled that fast one where they decide to wear the Oilers uniform? And I think a game like, was it last year, where they not only put on the uniform, but they also painted the oil derrick in the middle of the field just to thumb their nose at the Texans when they were.
Yeah, I do remember that. I forget when it was, but I do remember that.
That was horrible. That was just horrible. But they've thumbed their noses quite a bit of times, you know.
Yeah, this I don't know. I was thinking about all this. It's like, because I saw somebody who said, I'm not going to watch NFL anymore. And I remember saying, you liar. You know, there was when the whole politics thing came up with, you know, ever since Trump has been around, more and more famous Hollywood people have come out with their opinions. And, you know, you had a whole lot of the, you know, boycott Robert De Niro, or, you know, boycott whoever. Like, I'm not going to do that. Yeah, I'm going to keep watching, you know, old Robert De Niro movies because I like his acting. Just in my mind, I just have to separate and not listen to his politics. And because I'm not going to lie and say, oh, I'm not going to watch him, or nothing with him.
Right.
And I think the same thing is true with all these people saying they're not going to watch the NFL anymore. Like, yeah, right, stop.
Right. You know, that's the thing that, you know, a lot of people take those positions, but the reality of it, they're not really serious. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I used to work for somebody that was very far right, and he had a thing about all these high-tech companies that, of course, supported LGBTQ rights. And as you know, it was the high-tech companies that first started recognizing LGBTQ rights, starting with Apple. But a lot of people, when they get mad about where some of these companies stand on, and they say they're going to boycott them, they're not. Nobody's going to go around and give up their iPhone, regardless of where Apple stands. You know, it's the same thing with, you know, this thing with Bad Bunny. I mean, the reality of it is they're not going to boycott they're not. You know, I mean, it's just crazy, but people, you know, they make headlines by saying they're not going to do it. Same thing with the left. I mean, unfortunately, the left is just as crazy as the right when it comes to some of these things too. You mentioned De Niro, right? De Niro's nuts. Whoopi Goldberg, she's nuts. You know, Rosie O'Donnell, she was nuts. You know,
yeah.
I mean, you've heard all these people say, oh, if Trump won, I'm going to move to Canada, or I'm going to move to Europe. Every single person who has said that, I believe, has never done it. You know.
Well, who was it? Was it Did Rosie leave, or was it Ellen DeGeneres? Did she leave?
I think it was Ellen. I think it was Ellen that left.
I thought it was Rosie. Went to Ireland or some shit like that.
She may have. I haven't seen her in years or heard about her in years. But, I mean, it's just craziness, you know. They're not serious. They're just not serious. I guarantee you one thing. When they hit 62 or 65, they'll be back here to collect their Social Security and get on Medicare.
Oh, so somebody brings up a short list, a more recent one. Deborah Messing, Mark Ruffalo lately, and then so have you heard about John Leguizamo's? The rumor there. The rumor is that Paramount dropped him because he went on a rant saying, "If you support ICE, don't watch my movies, don't watch me, don't watch anything, and just quit following me." Whatever he said. He said, "Don't watch my movies." And I'm sure Paramount's like, "Whoa, these are our movies, not your movies." And
right.
That's the last thing they want, is to lose an audience.
And of course, I can't remember a John Leguizamo movie in years.
The only one I remember movie, he was in a movie called The Infiltrator.
Okay.
And then Tu Wong Fu, where he dressed in drag with Patrick Swayze and the guy from The Taxi Evader, black dude.
Yeah.
New Jack City. What's his name? I can't think of his name. Wesley Snipes.
Wesley Snipes, that's right, yeah.
He did that movie. They were in drag. And then he had a popular, I think, successful Broadway show. It was on HBO, where he was just doing stand-up for whatever, an hour, and they got that was popular. It was funny. I'll say it was funny.
So do you think there's going to be ice raids at the Super Bowl? You know, that was the big rumor.
You know what? I don't think anybody that can afford a Super Bowl ticket, I think illegals are in the minority in that department.
I think so. Well, yeah, definitely. Like I said, I mean, if you saw some of those things on Facebook, what the ticket prices were for some of the seats remaining, I mean, they were like up there, 20,000, 30,000. I'm like, who can afford that? I sure can't afford that.
The most cheapest ticket, I saw it somewhere, cheapest was like 10 or 12 grand.
Yeah.
And
I have no idea. I have no idea how much my relatives paid for theirs, but they're doctors. They're both doctors, so they can afford it, right? You know, I can't afford it. So
yeah, and that's true too. And even if the Bears would have made it, there's something nice. Baseball's different. You got a bunch of games. It's not just one game, and ticket prices are never that ridiculous. But if the Bears were in, I'd rather be on my sofa with the big screen and getting food whenever I want. And my bathroom is right there.
Yeah,
I'd rather do that.
Oh man, I remember when I used to attend the Astros games in Houston back in the old days with the Astrodome, and I'll tell you what, I mean, those games go for 9th innings, right, for the most part. But I'll tell you what, if the game didn't look very promising, I'd be getting the heck out of there around the 7th or 8th, because I did not want to go have to deal with the crowds. I mean, first of all, I didn't have the good seats. I had the bleeder seats, right? I was still poor, and I could only afford the nosebleed seats, right? So
yeah.
But I just, who can afford those kind of tickets? I don't know. But you're right. You're much better off watching it in front of your TV. You get to eat whatever you want, drink whatever you want. You're not around all these people. Have to worry about how the heck you're going to get back down, and then try to remember where the heck you parked. God knows how many times I would spend another hour after getting out of the Astrodome and trying to find out where in the world did I leave my car, right?
Yeah, it could take you 40 minutes just to get back to your car. And
exactly.
Then to get out of the parking lot, that's another 40 minutes.
But I mean, should the ticket prices be that high? I don't think so. I mean, they're getting to a point where it's unbelievable. In fact, my other co-host that does the baseball show was telling me that the St. Louis Cardinals, the organization is very concerned because this year, despite the fact they sucked, right, this past season, they noticed that there was fan attendance was at an all-time low. And I don't know whether it's because the fact that they sucked or the fact that people are very price conscientious today. It's
both. If they had a quality product, I think people would be willing to, I want to go see. They got a winning season. They're beating everybody, or games are exciting. I want to watch. The Cubs don't have that problem. People love freaking Wrigley Field. They love the Cubs.
Right.
I mean, never an empty seat. So I think it's both. I think if your team's not doing well, you're going to get less of, your stadium's not going to be full.
I mean, it's kind of a different psychosis between the football fans and the baseball fans, right? The baseball fans really take it to heart and they won't show up. But the football fans, as you know, the Cowboys can really suck and they're still all there. They're still all there. It's kind of like, I don't know. It's just different. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I heard that the new America's team was the Chicago Bears. And I don't know if that was an official proclamation or who said that or whatever. The Bears played some exciting football. To win 6 or 7 games in the final few minutes of a game after being down the entire, that's just exciting to watch. And I think people like when a underdog wins the game. They're supposed to lose, but they came back to win. Right. And that happened so many times this past season.
Now, when was the last time Chicago was at a Super Bowl?
It was, I think, 2004 or 5.
Okay. Who did they play against at that time? Do you remember?
I want to say it was Indianapolis Colts.
Okay. Yeah.
I think it was, Indianapolis Colts. We lost 29-17. I remember opening kickoff. Devin Hester ran it for a touchdown. Opening kickoff. It's like, oh man, Dexter was an animal. That was always fun to watch.
Yeah, I think it was a little there was some disappointment because a lot of people had a lot of hopes in Detroit this year.
Oh yeah.
And that obviously was disappointing for them.
Yeah.
I'm glad the 49ers are not anywhere near this.
Aren't they playing in California today?
Yes, the Super Bowl? Yes,
yeah.
It's at Levi Stadium, which is the 49er stadium. They used to play in the old days wasn't it Candlestick back in the old days?
Oh yeah.
During the Montana era,
So it would have been great if San Francisco would have made it to a Super Bowl and they're playing at home.
Right. Yeah, but it just didn't pan out, and I'm glad it didn't pan out.
Yeah.
Because I think they've won. They're tied with Dallas, 5-5. Super Bowl wins, I think. Yeah, it's 5-5. Or is it 5 appearances? I can't remember. But I think they're tied, 5-5.
Mm-hmm.
So at least let me do a search here. Hey, what's this tool everybody's going nuts over, making all kinds of graphics? What AI tool are they using?
A lot of people are using just the basics, ChatGPT, or what's the other one is called? Chat Now. Ask Easy is another one.
Yeah, so the Cowboys won in 1972, 1978, obviously 1993, 94, and 96.
The Cowboys actually won a Super Bowl?
Yeah, they've won 5 of them. Now, 1994 and 1993 and 94 were with Jimmy Johnson, and the last one was with Barry Switzer. You know, Switzer doesn't get a whole lot of credit for that one. A lot of people say that, you know, he won with Jimmy's team, but the reality of it is, if anybody who ever watched college football before, you know, Switzer was a powerhouse in college football for a long time.
Yeah.
You know, and people don't realize that just like Jimmy Johnson and Jerry Jones were pals, he was also pals with Switzer as well. I think they all attended school together back in the old days. Let's see
Are you a Cowboys fan yourself?
When they're winning, yes.
Do you really believe that the quarterback is their guy?
As far as like, can he win?
Like he's the one who's going to take them eventually to zero. I mean, time is running by.
I mean, he's not a bad quarterback. His numbers are good. The problem this year is the defense. The defense was horrible. You know, that was where their problem was this year. They probably could have done better. But you know, we had Tony Romo before, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, on the Cowboys, it's always, you know, somebody's blaming the coach, and sometimes they're definitely always blaming Jerry Jones, right?
Yep.
Jerry Jones, anda de metiche, right? He's always meddling, right? But my argument to that is, look, man, I spent millions of dollars on this team. I bought it outright. You know, there's an old saying in Spanish, el que paga manda, right? And the reality of it is you're not going to have a Tom Landry, a Don Shula. Was it Don Shula?
From Miami.
Miami. You're not going to have these guys that have been around forever. The old days of having a coach for 20, 30 years, that's long gone. It's all about money. It's all about the numbers. It's all about marketing. So the likelihood they're not going to be there forever, you know.
What did you say? When was the last Cowboys Super Bowl?
1990. Hold on. 1996.
So now, basically, they've had Dak Prescott since 2015 or 2016, if I'm not mistaken.
Something like that.
So they got no Super Bowls under Dak Prescott.
Nope. And neither under Tony Romo.
Contracts.
Yeah. Which is the other problem, right? You have a lot of prima donnas out there in the NFL wanting to get paid. I mean, when had you ever heard somebody like Micah Parsons or an Ezekiel Elliott or anybody else for that matter? I can't remember who's the running back. No, not the running back, but one of the defensive guys is one of the highest paid in the NFL. I mean, that's just crazy. These guys think they're prima donnas, you know. They get paid a lot of money. They're not even the quarterback. They're not even a wide receiver.
Yeah.
You know. But back to San Francisco. They've had 5. 1992, 1985, 89, 90, and 95. So they've won 5. Now, let's look at the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think it's Pittsburgh that one of them leaves. Let me see.
When I was a kid, I used to watch the Cowboys because I liked watching Danny White at quarterback. Because Roger Staubach was already getting. When I was growing up, he was already on the outs. Danny White took over, started taking over.
Pittsburgh has had 6 games. Their first Super Bowl was in 75, 76, 79, 1980, 2006, and 2009. And I believe they're tied with New England for the most Super Bowls. Let's see.
6.
New England.
Remember, New England got 6.
Yeah. Let me just verify. Yeah, New England have won 6 Super Bowls, and they've all been under Coach Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. Which, by the way, you wonder whether that magic was Tom Brady or Bill Belichick, because he hasn't done very well at the University of North Carolina.
Yeah. And
But then
didn't he get snubbed for the Hall of Fame first try?
That too, he did. Look, I think his trouble started when he hooked up with that 29-year-old chick. That's what I think.
I don't know. There was Deflate Gate. Remember the football?
That's true.
All that, and the cheating controversy, and
yeah. So they see, Seattle. Let's look at Seattle. Seattle used to be owned by I don't know if you know this. They were owned by Paul Allen, the co-founder of Microsoft. You know, there was 2 guys that started Microsoft, Bill Gates and Paul Allen. And Paul Allen owned the Seattle Seahawks. Well, he left Microsoft when he got rich, and he bought the Seahawks, and he also owned the Golden State Warriors. Or was it the Clippers?
The Clippers.
Was it the Clippers?
I think so.
Yeah, sorry. It's the Clippers. That's right. Yeah. Yeah, Seattle's only won 1 Super Bowl. And that was back against Denver on February 2nd, 2014. Talking about a dry spell. And that was 43-8.
Yep, I remember that, watching that game.
Yeah. Yep. So, I think there's only 1 or 2 guys from the original Tom Brady era in New England still with the team. I don't know how old they are, but they're probably up there, at least in their late 30s. I can't remember who they are, but Tom Brady apparently mentioned that during the one of the games where he was covering it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. So there's only 2 guys left. Everybody else is new. But that would quite be something if New England were able to pull off the 7th win, right? That would be something. You know.
I hope the game is good. I mean, honestly, I don't care who wins. I just.
Now you're sounding like a Cowboy fan.
Well, obviously, because my team is not playing in the game,
right?
But if it's a good game, you know, I'll watch it because it's, you know, the defensive plays or explosive offensive plays or spectacular things going on. I'll watch it. I just hate when a game is overshadowed by a lot of the activities around the Super Bowl.
Right.
Like in this case, the controversy with Bad Bunny, which I don't know. I think if he would have kept his mouth shut and not taken a stance, like, you know, Ice out at the Grammys or whatever,
right,
and be so outspoken. I mean, he's been outspoken against the administration. I don't know. I think people would have warmed up and go, yeah, whatever, let him perform. But I don't know.
Yeah, he just added gasoline to the fire. I mean, that's what it kind of boils down to right now. The other controversial thing is, and we'll find out today, is whether he's going to wear a dress or not. You know, that's the other controversial thing. Will he or will he not wear a dress? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, why does he wear a dress? I mean, I know when you're part of that crowd, they're trying to make statements, right? But I don't know if he is. I don't know if he's wearing a dress for some other reason.
Isn't that like David Bowie? What's he called? What is that when you wear, or you can wear men's or women's clothing, but you're not necessarily. Can't think of the word. But I mean, he's done it before in his videos and his outings, his appearances here and there. So it's not like it'd be a surprise, you know. And
well, according to Google, according to AI and Google, it says that Bad Bunny identifies as a heterosexual, but he is a prominent LGBTQ ally. So, I mean, you have a lot of those people, right, that, you know, may be heterosexual, but they're also supportive of LGBTQ rights. I mean, I just don't know if you have to go to that extreme.
The other word I was looking for, androgynous. So he might dress feminine, but it doesn't mean he's not necessarily a cross-dresser. I think he does it more for the shock value, you know.
Now, you know, because I've seen lately what's really popular, young men, is makeup.
Yeah.
There's makeup. Now, does JD Vance wear eyeliner or not? Has anybody determined whether that's really eyeliner or he's just got very dark lashes? I don't know.
Let's see. Oops. Where did I put that? I don't know. I would hate to think he does.
Because those are some weird eyelashes. Those are some weird eyelashes.
Whether J.D. Vance wears eyeliner is a subject of intense internet debate, with many observers, including some photographers, convinced he wears it due to his notably dark, long-lashed, and defined eyes. Conversely, his wife Usha has stated that his lashes are all natural. So that didn't give me an answer.
No, but they sure are. They're hard not to miss. I mean, when I've heard him talk or I've seen him on TV, I'll be honest with you, that's the very first thing that I focus on. It's a hard thing not to notice. You know, it's just something about those eyelashes that just, you know, I don't know. You know, it's kind of like, I don't know whose plastic surgeon fixed Trump's ear, but man, I can't tell where he got shot.
Well, that injury was minor, and I think it was, once they sewed it back together, I think it was just like a tear.
Okay.
And it wasn't anything that required a spectacular fix or something like that. It's not like he got shot directly through the ear or something.
Okay. So it was kind of like a grazing more than anything else.
Yeah. I mean, if he would have been tilted further to the right, that would have been it would have hit somewhere around here. More of a direct hit.
Now, have you noticed there's been no talk about that anymore? It's very quiet.
Yeah.
Very quiet.
The one making a lot of noise lately, as you may or may not know, is Candace Owens in her battle with Erica Kirk. That's just Candace's stance is that TP USA, Turning Point USA, along with Charlie Kirk's wife, along with Israel, Egypt somehow, and the French conspired to have Charlie Kirk killed.
Why would they do that? I mean, I think Charlie Kirk was a supporter of Israel. I mean, why would they even do that?
Well, there's a conspiracy theory that he was starting to back away from that position, which I don't think I ever heard that from him in the last few years. But I think all that's gotten way out of control. Candace Owens is coming out with some real far-fetched theories. And she keeps saying she's got this proof, and she, on tomorrow's program or on the next show, but then she never comes out with any proof. And it seems like she wants people to believe she knows more than those investigating.
Yeah.
It's like, I
can't
listen to her anymore. I used to watch her. I used to listen to her all the time.
Well, I think that's part of the problem.
Huh?
I think that's part of the problem today, and you even notice it here locally too, right? Everybody's out there saying they've got proof of something, but when push comes to shove, nobody produces any proof.
Yeah, and this is the land of people like to hold stuff over your head and threaten to out you, with this information. But yeah, then it never appears. And I don't know. You know what? The guy died. Leave him alone. Leave his wife alone.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not no fan of Erica Kirk either. So it's something shady. Something weird about her.
Well, I don't know if that video was true or whether it was AI generated or what, but the one about her and JD Vance dancing, and somebody put out there, so much for the morning, right? But it's really scary. I mean, I'm in the high-tech industry, right? And, we're basically, from a high-tech standpoint, we saw how everybody was getting hot and heavy with AI maybe about 3 years ago. I mean, companies were out there in a race to incorporate AI. I can tell you that since then, companies are now stepping back and saying, well, maybe we shouldn't do that. Maybe we need to be a little bit more careful, because what a lot of people don't realize is that, if you take a picture of yourself and you put it up there on Grok or ChatGPT, and you want to build a background of you, well, not only is that picture now in Grok, but it's available to anybody.
Right.
Anybody can go out there and say Daniel Salinas or Manny, and they'll be able to have the same access of information. Yeah. That's the problem. Now, that's just pictures. But, we have a lot of people out there in the workforce that may put out proprietary information, schematics, diagrams, whatever.
Yeah.
They put that shit out there, and you know what's going to happen, or what could happen, is your competitors will also have access to it.
Yeah.
Now you've given them that. So we're told now, be careful how you use it, because once you put it out there, that's it. And you know how it is. I mean, you see it as much as I do every day on social media. Man, you don't know what to believe anymore. You don't know whether the video's real, the picture's real. I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, there's stuff that's obvious, right? I mean, there's stuff that's obvious. There's some stuff that nobody in their right mind should believe, right? But there's a lot of gullibility out there, man. There's a lot of gullibility out there. I'm not anti-AI. I just think that, there's a lot of, excuse the word I'm going to use, dumb fucks out there.
So speaking of AI, let me show you this. I posted this earlier, and they were saying, oh, this kid, Jennifer Lopez's son looks so much like his father, Mark Anthony.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
What I noticed was, look at his legs and how skinny the kid is. And I did find other photos that apparently at the same time that all this was done, they take a million pictures of them coming out of the vehicle and walking down. And somebody said, look at the curvature at the foot, his right leg from the knee down, and then it kind of curves out to the shoe, and they say that doesn't look natural. But at the same time, you got to remember when you're taking a photo of something in motion, sometimes you're going to get something that looks weird, doesn't look natural, because you caught it at just a weird angle, from the angle you're at to a shadow to the lighting, and it just looks bizarre. But there was another photo of him walking, which I think is this one.
Those look different.
They're still skinny, and there's still a little curve. There's still a little curve just above the ankle. Light.
Yeah.
So, and I looked all over the internet for this thing, and it appears to be a legit, real photo, not doctored.
Yeah.
But my thing is, if you go back to the other photo, I mean, dude is skinny, like skeletal skinny.
Yeah, that's what's like concerning, right? I mean, that's not healthy. That's not normal. I mean, even your skinniest person that's naturally skinny shouldn't have legs like that.
Plus, you're so skinny, you're so, whatever you call it, you're so thin that even when you wear a shoe size that's your size, it looks big on him.
Right.
Because the shoe looks like it doesn't fit him.
Yeah, and then look at the way the skin is sagging. It's almost like it's an older person. Yeah, look at that. You see the back of that? Nobody that age should be having that kind of skin sagging. They shouldn't. Look, let me put it this way. I go to the gym. A lot of young kids are out there at the gym every day. They don't have legs like that. We're talking scrawny ones. We're not talking,
Yeah, and I'm wondering, is he just naturally skinny like that? I know Mark Anthony's a little twerp. I mean, the dude's like 3 feet tall and 50 pounds wet. That's what I think. I saw him in a movie called The Substitute.
Yeah.
You see that with Tom Berenger, substitute teacher, but he's with the CIA, and then there's drug smuggling and dealing going on at the school. So Mark Anthony played the role of one of the gang leaders. And there's a couple of scenes, but there's one scene where he's walking with his guys behind him, and the dude's real little and bony, skinny.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe it's just that, but initially it just doesn't look healthy,
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of, Hollywood, there's a lot of prosthetics, that go on now these days. Back in the old days, I don't know if you're a Star Trek fan, but I'm a Star Trek fan, and the second Star Trek movie was the one with Ricardo Montalban. I don't know if you remember him, Mr. Rourke from Fantasy Island.
Yep.
Well, in that movie, he comes out really built. I mean, built chest, you name it. And at first people thought, there was a prosthetic chest. No, it was his natural chest.
Yeah.
For somebody that age. But you've seen prosthetics play a big part now in Hollywood, where you take a scrawny guy and he gets the Superman part or the Batman part.
Yeah.
And they, besides the suit, they put this prosthetic so that they look built, and which is kind of weird, right? Because with AI now and CGI, and before with CGI, I mean, why would they do that, right?
You know who wasn't chiseled like that? Christopher Reeve, the original Superman movie in the 80s.
No, he wasn't chiseled like that.
And neither was old school, the TV show. Oh man, hold on. No, I mean the old school Superman, black and white on TV.
George Reeves.
Yeah, dude, he was not muscle bound. He was dad bod-ish.
Yeah, he was dad bodies. And then, of course, Christopher Reeve. But all these other guys, you know, they're not like that. Now, what's really interesting is you have actors go the other way, too, where they get a whole lot of weight on for a specific part. I mean, I've seen Russell Crowe do it. Who was the other one that did it quite a bit? Was it, I don't know if it was, what was his name? Brandon Fraser was another one. He went from one extreme to the other extreme. The problem is when he went to the other extreme, he found it very difficult to lose whatever he had gained.
Yeah.
You know? But you have a lot of that. And so you just don't know. I mean, you just don't know what you see now on TV, whether it's real or it isn't real. And then, of course, you add AI, and it's just, you know, what was it? Wasn't there I just read it somewhere. Somebody was complaining about that somebody had put a picture of Trump on a cross, crucified or something.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, somebody was so that's bad. That's really bad. You know. It's just gotten out of control on both sides. It really has. And that's because we're not in the peak election season cycle yet. I mean, we're just at the primaries.
Yeah.
Imagine after a couple of weeks from now and the real stuff happens. I mean, you're going to see stuff that you can't even believe. I mean, it's like unreal. Totally unreal.
Oh, my browser froze up. Huh. I can't type anything in here.
Oh gosh. Yeah, Manny. It is apparently somebody in Switzerland put out a fake AI photo of Trump in an orange suit.
I see it. Let me put that up here.
Not crucified, I guess, but on a gurney.
You know what that is? That's on a prison execution, capital punishment table.
Yeah.
And now we move to Switzerland, where a lifelike sculpture of President Donald Trump dressed in an orange prison jumpsuit and strapped to a white cross has sparked strong reactions and smiles.
That's not a cross. That is a lethal injection, you know, the table.
The gurney.
Yeah.
In the city of Basel, the piece titled Saint or Sinner by British artist shows the U.S. president with his eyes closed, his body laid out on a padded cross resembling either a crucifixion or an execution by lethal injection. The sculpture went on display over the weekend, drawing hundreds of curious onlookers.
Wow.
I do absolutely think that Mr. Trump might see himself very well in the role of a modern Jesus. He comes with the...
Nah. Sorry, that's... You know, he's talked about it a couple times when somebody asks you, do you think you're going to heaven? And he has never boasted and said, oh yeah, I'm freaking going to heaven. Like, you know, he's never said that. He's always said, well, you know, I don't know if I qualify, or I don't know, you know, because of the history, my life in the past, but you know, and he plays it like that, real kind of humble. He's not up there going, oh yeah, I'm there. I'm going for 100% for sure. And I like that he's not just going, oh yeah, of course I'm going to heaven. he can't answer it correctly because he doesn't know. And I think most people, at least I would like to think most people would say, you know what, I don't know.
Yeah.
Not that I've been a horrible, evil, criminal person my whole life or none of that, but it's not for me to say whether I am or not.
Yeah. Well, what about the other controversial video that came out earlier? And of course, that was the White House. The one about Michelle Obama and Barack Obama as monkeys. What do you think about that?
That is actually a video clip from last year.
Yeah.
It came out in the fall of last year, and first of all, somebody in the White House.
I've got a guest.
Oh, cool. Cute puppy. Somebody released that video and they added that clip at the end. So that wasn't necessarily sanctioned by him. And he didn't tell them to remove it, but later it was removed. The video's gone, and by White House people.
Yeah.
But you know what? The liberals and Kathy Griffin had Trump's severed head in a photo. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
So, too bad. Suck it up. I don't care. That's still, he's not racist. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah.
All these black people, famous black people, Jesse Jackson, Whoopi Goldberg even, and countless others, politicians, they all wanted to be his best friend. They wanted pictures. They wanted video with him, shaking hands, having a drink, having dinner.
Well, they were all part of the New York social circle scene before he ever ran for president.
Oh yeah, and they wanted to have a picture taken with him. They wanted to be, oh yeah, Donald Trump. Oh yeah, absolutely. And the minute he announces he's running for president, all of a sudden now he's racist. It's like, get out of here.
Well, the other thing, even Bill and Hillary Clinton, they were all pals, with Trump as well, right? I mean, let's face it, they all were pals with Epstein, all of them. I don't care what anybody says. All of them were, right?
Yep.
So it's not like they didn't hang around the same circles they did. They really did. I mean, it was, Barbara Walters. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Barbara Walters, did a ton of interviews with Trump.
Well, remember one of the first times when Trump was welcomed to The View, when The View first came on the air.
Right.
It was all hugs and kisses all the way around with Barbara, with Whoopi. And he was, oh yeah, Donald Trump is great. We love him.
Yeah.
And, but the minute he goes politician, well, now he's an enemy.
Right. Yeah, I mean, they were all part of the same social club. They hung around went to the same parties. They hung around the same people, flew on the same airplanes to undisclosed islands. I mean, they just act kind of dumb and saying it never happened or didn't happen or whatever.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. I mean, I'm surprised at the ton of people that Epstein was able to, I'm not going to use the word lure because I don't think he lured them. I think they all went on their free will, right? Well, at least those celebrities did, right?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people that you kind of scratch your head and you wonder, well, what the hell was he doing there, right? I mean, would you ever think that nerdy Bill Gates, would have a need to go to Epstein Island? I mean, let's be real.
And then I'm wondering, was the island that great? I mean, could you have gone to the Bahamas, instead? Or, I mean,
yeah.
What was so spectacular about that island that so many people went so many times?
Yeah, I mean, and then of course, if you want to dig deeper, what the heck was going on down there that was such a big thing, But I mean, even Prince Andrew, I mean, these are guys that have money.
Yeah.
Money. Why would they even need to do that. It just mind boggles me, you know. But you know what it is? Wasn't Epstein Jewish?
Oh yeah.
You know, they say that, you know, I mean, it's kind of like Bernie Madoff. He was Jewish, right? And he conned all the people he conned, they were all Jewish.
Yep.
Because Jewish people only trust Jewish people when it comes to their money. So they were handing this guy all their money to so-called invest, and he wasn't investing it. You know, he was using it for himself. And so I don't know what it is about these Jewish guys that they're able to con or lure these people to do these kind of things. But I mean, I don't, for the life of me, I don't understand what need Bill Gates would have. This is who used to be the richest man in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, he could have any woman he wanted, regardless, right? He didn't have to travel to the Bahamas to go get some. He really didn't have to.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, there's so many conspiracy theories. Even we were talking about all these celebrities and, you know, the elite of the world are there eating.
Look at the screen. Stephen Hawking.
Yeah, he was there a lot of times. It's like,
what could that guy do physically to anybody? He couldn't even walk out of his wheelchair. I mean, it makes no sense. You know, he couldn't even talk. He had to use a computer.
Yep.
I just don't. It mind boggles me. It really does. You know.
Yeah, he was pretty much immobile, except for however he made his chair move. You know.
Let me tell you, I had a college professor, only one that had the same thing like Stephen Hawking, and he could only transport in a wheelchair with a straw to move the joystick on the side of the.
Yeah.
He could not move, but he was one hell of a professor. I'll tell you that much. He was one hell of a professor. But why would Stephen Hawking need to go down there? I don't know. What could he even do?
How about the Dalai Lama?
He was there too?
Oh yeah, he was listed as being there.
Wow.
So, and then, you know, you got Hollywood people. Tom Hanks is one the name that sticks out to me, Tom Hanks. And people are quick to say, oh, anybody who went to Epstein Island was a pedophile. It's like, see, I don't buy into that. I can't see Tom Hanks doing that or being that.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know him personally. Obviously, I just know him from the movies he makes. But could he really be that? And that's why he went to the island. It's like, I don't. Did it happen? I think it did happen. But I hate to think. It would be very disappointing for me. I think Tom Hanks is a brilliant actor. I would hate to think that he was involved with some of that stuff like that. And I don't think most of those people that went necessarily went, oh, look, these little kids are going to be here. We get to enjoy ourselves. I just think it was a way how that
I think, well, first of all, if you read back on Epstein and how he started, right? He was a financial guru. No doubt about it. And I don't think anybody has said they lost any money with Epstein, right? So I think there was money involved. But then he was also big on donating monies to these philanthropic organizations. So I think in Gates' situation, I think Gates was out there looking people to donate money, even though he's got plenty of money.
Yeah.
But
for the foundation.
For the foundation, right? Which the foundation, let's face it, I mean, they've done some great work in certain areas. I mean, most of these foundations have done some great work in certain areas. So, I don't necessarily agree with their support of charter schools. I think I'm not a big fan of charter schools, but that's another story for another day. But yeah, I don't know. Not everybody that went down there to get some. That's all I'm trying to say.
Right. That's exactly.
Prince Andrew, I don't know, maybe. you know.
Well, there's that picture of Prince Andrew. God, I think I have it somewhere. In a compromising position, not nude or anything, but he clearly had someone young with him. It's like,
Yeah.
So there was this interview. He's gonna play maybe a minute of it, if that. Let's see. Just so you can hear, a lot of people don't know what he sounds like, how he speaks, and I think this was very interesting.
What was it about
the music now.
the time at the math? And this was in the late 90s. So they're not going to hear me on this part, right? We're going to do it both ways?
It will not be on the video, but we do have it recorded.
Fine. Remember, when you're answering on these questions, I'm not in the shot, and they're never going to hear my voice. So a little bit you got to repeat in your answer, you got to repeat what my question was.
Oh,
A little bit.
Okay.
Santa Fe Institute. Why, when you're at the top of your game on Wall Street, do you decide to finance, which was at the time, or endow, or become the donor or sponsor, however you want to say it, for what was considered the most cutting edge group of mathematicians in the world? Action.
So Santa Fe Institute in the late 80s, early 90s, I was interested, I was on the board of Rockefeller. So that starts, Rockefeller, it's university formed by John D. Rockefeller to sort of give back to the community. It's east side of Manhattan, except it was old. It was sort of old-fashioned. They were talking about medicine, and medicine by itself was, again, subject to the ideas of science. They were trying to use science to find cures for disease. And I said, no, we need to do something different. We need to start interdisciplinary work. In most...
How did a schmuck like you get on the board of Rockefeller? What year was that?
I don't remember. Late, I think 89 and 91.
So that's one of the most prestigious research places in the world, correct?
Yes.
Okay, how did a guy like you get on?
So I thought about at some point I'm gonna post this interview, but I mean the guy was intellectual and he knew very stock markets, math, geometry. I mean, he knew what he was. He was smart. He was not a dumb guy. And when you hear him speak, science seems like a harmless, just little dude that you would have. It would be hard to think that, oh, this guy's a pedophile. He's got a pedophile ring or a sex trafficking ring. And I mean, for somebody who's never met him before, the first time ever hearing him, he doesn't sound like he doesn't. I guess if you have something in your mind, well, what does a monster sound like?
Right.
And I think that's how he got a lot of people to come and, oh yeah, I'm just a regular guy, you know. And he talks science, he talks math, he talks technology. That's what I think happened. He comes off as, so to speak, a regular guy. And I will post it. It's a long interview. It's a couple hours.
I mean, yeah. I mean, 90% of what he did was probably legit, right? It was that 10% that was probably the dessert.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's one way to put it.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's a possibility, you know, that 90%, maybe 95% of what he did was legit. I mean, and probably if we didn't know anything about the rest of it, if you had this interview and you looked at the guy, well, yeah, he's doing a lot of great things, right? But it's always that little part that kind of destroyed everything else that he did, right? And I guess that's a lesson for everybody, right? I mean, be careful who you hang around with in the end, right? But I just think that, you know, it's the same thing with Gates. I mean, Bill Gates, I mean, the world that we know would not be the same without Bill Gates.
Yeah.
Or Steve Jobs. I mean, look at Steve Jobs. I mean, Steve Jobs was an asshole most of his life.
Yeah.
I mean, he did not even recognize he had a daughter, you know, outright. I mean, some of these guys, unfortunately, they're geniuses, but they've got a dark side, and that could be the case. I mean, look at our billionaire here locally. I mean, you know, there's a dark side, right?
You're referring to Elon Musk.
Right. I mean, there's I mean, do I agree with everything that he did at Twitter? Absolutely not. I don't think that Twitter is any better, or that X is any better than what Twitter was. I think it's got worse.
So this is one of the photos that came out of the Epstein files. Just one of thousands that have come out.
Yeah.
And that's Epstein with the white T-shirt. I don't know who the other two guys are. There's a woman on her knees under the table, not doing anything sexual per se, but it's like, one, why is she under the table on her knees? And then, if you can see, there's a picture, the frame that's hanging on the wall behind them. That's a naked child.
Wow.
That's why they got that little black strip covering private areas. Let's see if it'll allow me to blow it up. I don't think so.
I mean, could he have had a dark side? Probably.
Did that blow up at all?
It kind of did. I mean,
see a naked, that's a child sitting on looks like in a sink, like for a bath or something.
Yeah.
There's a faucet to the left.
Right.
And it's like what the heck is up with that?
God knows. It's hard to. I mean, there's art and then there's art, right? I don't know.
And then there's a lot of video that is supposed to come out that hasn't come out. And I'm like, I don't even know if we should be looking at that video. I mean, there's accusations of eating flesh from, babies and like, and it's hard. And I don't know. It's hard for me to comprehend that. Is it possible for somebody to do that? Like, yeah. Do I think all these Hollywood celebrities, including women, were there to eat, to possibly enjoy human sacrifice? That's also been alleged also. It's like, come on. I mean, it's possible, I suppose, but unless there's video of them doing something like that, people have can just make these accusations, just like they did with Trump. Oh yeah, Trump is guilty. The Russian collusion. The only people in the collusion were Russia and Putin.
Yeah,
that's it. And Hillary Clinton, as it turns out.
Yeah. Well, I was sure hoping to see the peeing video. Has never come out.
What peeing video?
The one where Trump is peeing on the girls in Moscow or something like that. Remember?
Yeah. Probably because it doesn't exist. That's why you won't see it. If somebody had it, who would use it against them? And I say that about the Epstein files too. If there was stuff in there, these files have been available for years, not just right now. They could use something against President Trump. They would have done it years ago and not even let him make it possible for him in office.
Look, once again, there's been a lot of names, talked about in the Epstein files, right? A lot of big names, right? But nothing has really ever come out to prove anything, whether Trump, Clinton, or anybody else is seen on video, right? Doing something they're not supposed to.
Now, only that photo of Clinton, there is that photo where he's like getting a massage or something, and he's sitting on the bed. Have you seen that one?
No, I haven't seen that one.
It's not a high quality photo, but he's on the bed and there's a woman behind him doing something to his back, and he's just you see him from the side to the rear part. You don't see his front, but it's clearly Bill Clinton. I'll see if I can dig that one up too.
Yeah. Well, one of the things is, like I said, so far nothing has come out. But if you're a dumbass like Sean Puffy Combs, was it P Diddy or what? Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I mean, he went straight to the slammer. Maybe there is no such thing as blind justice. I don't know. I mean, you could go down that rabbit hole, right? Did the guy get creamed because he was a black guy? Regardless of how much money he had, or it seems like the white guys never go to jail. I don't know.
Okay, so now they're calling that photo fake.
Yeah.
Or somebody's calling it fake. Oh,
See, that's.
Oh no! Wait a minute. I think it's fake. Okay, so there's here. Let me just show the photo, and then I'll show a variation of it, and that's what I think they're calling fake. Oops, I gotta share it. There's nothing X-rated, so we're not gonna. Tell me that's not Bill Clinton. I can't hear you. What happened to your mic?
I'm here.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah, it looks like the nose and, of course, the hair. Didn't think he was that thin, but yeah, he's that thin now.
But then again, this was a long time ago, too. This was... Don't even know when this photo is from. And then this is the one that came out as fake, which obviously is fake. Oops. This one here. Let's see if I can find it. Nope, I gotta go back to that one. Hang on. That would be this one here. I don't want to sign in. Anyway, there's a picture. See how he's holding a remote in this picture?
Right.
Well, there's another photo, which I guess it shows the more expanded picture. There's a TV in front of him, and Hillary Clinton is on the screen. They superimpose her image on the screen like he's watching her.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh.
And that's the one that was branded fake. Yeah, I mean, you can kind of see it right there, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't see it too good right there, but anyway. So, and all this stuff could be all completely, absolutely fake.
Yeah, and that's the scary part, right? Is that it's getting very hard to determine in most cases, in some cases, not most cases, what's real from what's not, what's fact versus what isn't. I mean, you've seen here locally, right? All these people running for office putting out these poll results, and none of them are true. Yeah. Right? They're all somebody. So I decided yesterday, I don't know if you saw my post, I put out there a post of, I've been doing election coverage on these local candidates. And so what I did is I went out and looked at my insights data and kind of calculated who got the most views, right? 1, 2, and 3. So I put out as a joke, not as a joke, but as a way to stick it to everybody who's putting out fake polls, is, okay, for everybody that puts out a fake poll, here's a real one. This person made the highest views, this one second, this one third, this one fourth, I mean, it's just crazy what people do today. I mean, they put all kinds of stuff, polls, pictures, videos. I mean, it's just crazy. And it gets more scary because you don't know what to believe or what not to believe, Yeah,
and with AI now, that makes it even worse.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest with you. If I was a kid today in school, I'd be very concerned about turning AI generated stuff in because, why risk a grade,
Yeah.
But I don't know. It is what it is. But anyway, well, we'll see what happens today. Obviously, we've got about 30 minutes before the start here.
Yeah, so game time is what, 5:30 actually?
It's at 5:30, but they start, with all the commentary at 5 o'clock. So I don't know if there's even a pre-game performance. Sometimes you have a band that plays before, opens it up, plays before, and then there's the commentary, and then there's the game, and of course the halftime.
Supposed to be, so the alternative, if you don't want to watch the Bad Bunny, you can watch Kid Rock on the Turning Point USA. They have a website. You can find it through Turning Point USA. And I think Kid Rock is going to be performing with the country music act or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I anticipate it's going to be very country music folk centered.
Yeah, and I don't know how I feel about that either. It's like, and they of course they want to do that to sabotage, Bad Bunny because of how they feel about him performing. But you know what? I don't think that's cool either. It's like just let the guy perform. If you don't want to watch it, don't watch it.
Yeah,
it's not like it's hurting the country or something.
It is what it is, right? And it's not the first time that the NFL has dived into controversy, right? I mean, I think they dive into controversy every week. You've seen some of the messages at the end zone that you kind of question.
Oh yeah.
What is it that they're really trying to drive? Or sometimes the messages in the back part of their helmet, what is it that they're really trying to say, right? So,
and who's feeding Goodell this information that this is a good idea to get into?
I don't know about Goodell. I've never liked him.
Nah, me neither.
Who
was the one that was before? He was a great commissioner.
I've got him at the tip of my tongue.
Pete Rozelle? Or no, something Rozelle.
Goodell, no? Or
I don't know.
Let's see, NFL commissioner.
Yeah, Pete Rozelle.
Yeah, that was Pete Rozelle. Yeah.
29 years he was commissioner.
Yeah.
Tagliabue was a joke.
Yeah. Paul Tagliabue. Yeah.
But Pete Rozelle. Pete Rozelle was actually respected. People did like him.
Yeah. But this other guy, All right.
Yep. We'll call this one a wrap because I do want to catch the. I don't know. I'm more interested in the happenings around the Super Bowl, not necessarily the game itself.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what commercials are going to come out this time around.
Yeah, commercials are always a fun part of the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see.
I'll see.
I'll be back on tomorrow night to discuss today. Got this other gentleman by the name of Big Perm. He's going to be with me tomorrow to discuss the aftermath and see what happened. So I don't know if you're free or not. Feel free to join us tomorrow.
Well, I'm actually probably doing a highlights thing tomorrow on my show. So I'll let you know if I do or I don't. It just depends how I feel, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I feel better. I know you were coming down with something, so.
Yeah, hopefully, my throat's been hurting, my voice has been going on and off, so hopefully I don't lose it. So some people may like the fact that I lose my voice, but
keep drinking hot tea, bro. A lot of water.
I know. All righty, man.
All right. Have a good night, everyone. Enjoy the game, and we'll see what happens. We'll discuss afterwards.
All righty.
Good night, everybody.